It is said that the Anishinaabe had 7 original clans, although there are some Anishinaabe people who say different. Amongst those are the Martin clan. The Martin clan were considered the warriors. There was the Bear clan. The Bear clan were considered protectors for our communities. There was the Fish clan and the Turtles, and they were actually mediaries between our 2 chieftain clans, which were the Loon and the Crane clan. And there was also Eagle clan and
Hoof clan or Deer clan?
No, of course, everybody would be born to 2 parents. And that's also very important when you consider family structures, that everyone has 2 parents, and that's the only way for a civilization to grow. And those 2 parents in the Anishinaabe system would each have a clan. So for example, if the mother was Bear clan and the father was Turtle clan, the child would take on the father's clan. So it was a patrilineal system. Because both your mother and father had a clan, you would be given responsibilities of both those clans. You would be given teachings of both those clans. The way that our communities were structured before was based on your clan. And so different disparate areas would be, for example, Martin clan, and then another area might be Bear clan, another area might be Turtle clan, another area might be Eagle clan. And of course, that was passed down through the male line. And so oftentimes when intermarriages happened between different clans, it was the woman of another clan who had to move into the territory of her partner. What this meant in terms of the family structure was that your father's brothers and sisters were sometimes even closer to you than your mother's brothers and sisters. And that's mostly because they were the ones who lived in that community. Other important elements to our family structures include certain characteristics of each person. Every person was basically responsible for a certain element of the community. And you would be raised and the elders would watch over you. They would ensure that you were living true to yourself. And that's critical too to recognize, is that our culture was not about teaching a whole bunch of things. It was about identifying what are the gifts and strengths of each individual and honing and nurturing those strengths throughout their lives. And so our whole community structure was based on how to live in the world in a good way. And so we didn't teach you how not to be and what not to do. Your aunties, your uncles, your parents, your grandparents, and all the members of your community, they lived how they expected you to live. And what this led to was a society that had its checks and balances, but it didn't need, for example, a prison system or a set of laws in a book. Those laws were ingrained in you from the very beginning of your life, and that's how you would live for the rest of your life.